All right, bud. We're about. Did Kate tell you I saw her last week?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did. Yeah. So that was really cool.
All right, bud. We're about. Here we go.
With Tom Izzo, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
Welcome back, everybody. Final half hour here on a busy Tuesday morning. I already got the usual suspects emailing me on uniforms. We'll read those before we leave. My next guest loves uniform chat. Is the Dragons get set to open up 2026 at home Thursday night over at Shields Field at 7 o'clock as the Dragons will welcome in Northern Michigan to open up 2026. Our pleasure to start another year with our guy Steve Laqua. I believe this is year 15 of us doing this. Does that sound right?
It sounds about right.
Holy cow.
That's pretty good streak we got going.
You want to break news? What are you wearing? What's the uniform combo for Thursday night?
We are going red top, white bottom. That's
there we go.
Pretty standard for our home opener. So that was a pretty easy decision. So yeah.
We didn't have a lot of hand-wringing on that. Before we talk about your current team, we got to talk about your quarterback because this is something else that's going on, your old quarterback, I should say. Jack Strand did it again, Steve, on Saturday for Atlanta. Yesterday, Pat McAfee's talking about him. I mean, this has become one of the stories of the NFL preseason is on Jack Strand.
Yeah, I think the cool part is that, it started, I think, as a cool story because it was a good story of, hey, he's undrafted, he's Division II, he decided to stay. He didn't take the NIL. Wow, what a different guy. This is a cool story. And I think now it's starting to transition to this is a cool story because he's a good quarterback. And so I think that transition from good story to good quarterback is pretty cool to see. And obviously one game or two games is not enough to make it, but you've got to be able to keep doing it. But he's had two opportunities. He's done great in two opportunities. Hopefully he can do that again this weekend.
I have to ask the play caller with the Dragons, did you utilize his legs enough? I saw the rushing touchdown he had Saturday. The kid can move, too.
We probably didn't overall in the grand scheme of things. I know we did in the last game against Mankato. He ran a fair amount.
He did.
And, it was one of those things where we always had to kind of, weigh the pros and cons of, okay, we can run him and gain some yards, but there's hits, there's, the durability factor over time, and what happens if we lose him? And so it's kind of one of those things you don't want to be reckless with your car in busy traffic if it's, a pretty nice car. And so if you got a bent up, beat up little Ford Pinto or something like that, I don't know, then yeah, it's probably okay. And so those were things that we took into account, and good or bad, I don't know. It's easy to say if he stays healthy, hey, we should have done it more. If he doesn't, you're like, what are we doing? This guy's an NFL armed quarterback, and we're trying to run him around. What are we thinking?
How much fun does it look like he's having? Looks like he's having a ton of fun right now.
I thought it looked like he had some joy playing in this game. I think that was there. It was great to see the intensity, the emotion. That the spike into the end zone on that touchdown, that gave me goosebumps. And I mean, he might have to get ice on his arm after throwing that thing down in there. And so I think that was the great part, that he wasn't playing. He was playing free, playing fun, playing to go out there and win games and play well. And I think that's when people are at their best, when they don't have to worry about, am I going to make the team? They can just be in the moment and do what they do.
It's a great story. And the way he's played, Atlanta's going to have a hard decision not keeping him on the team. Just my thought, because if they try to get him through the practice squad, somebody else is going to grab him. I really believe that.
I do think it is going to be hard for him to keep him on the practice squad. Right. I feel like you're right. Somebody's going to be there, and that's good. He's put a good tape out there, but he's also put some buzz out there that people are aware, and they're like, hey, we better check this guy out. And so that helps him. I think, in the grand scheme of things, I hope they keep him because he spent a lot of time there. He's learning the system. He's getting comfortable. He's got all those other things to adjust to outside of the game of football. And so if he can avoid having to go to a new locker room, a new city, a new place to live, and he can just stay and keep that part of his life safe, I think it gives him the best chance to be able to succeed big picture.
So the Falcons play their final preseason game coming up, I believe, on Friday against Miami, which I believe Cam Miller is going to be playing, which both of those guys, their quarterback coach is one Tony Racioppi, who we've had on the show. That's a pretty unique deal in its own right that both Cam Miller and Jack Strand could start against one another on Friday.
I think that's really cool. I think we got to get Tony on the show.
Yes.
We got to work on
Yes.
that. Put that on your to-do list. But I think that was a really cool thing. You start to throw things together as this story unfolds. But same quarterback coach, but Easton Stick runs a summer camp for quarterbacks. Well, Jack was at it, Cam was at it,
Yep.
obviously Easton's at it. The run of quarterbacks that NDSU has had that have been in the NFL. I think it was a great kind of melting pot of people to get together, see how they compare, see what they can do, and kind of exchange information and grow together. And so I think it's really cool when you start looking at the Fargo Moorhead area, how many quarterbacks are in the conversation during this preseason, and however it shakes out, it shakes out. But I think that's really cool. There's a lot of great football right here in the Metro.
No doubt about that. Have your interview requests gone up? I'm surprised you didn't big time me now that you got a quarterback in the NFL.
I can't say they've gone up too much. You did have one interview request. I know we talked to the sideline reporter from Fox that was doing the game before the preseason, Coach Check and I, just trying to get some background. And honestly, when I'm listening, I'm like, well, they probably need something to talk about in a preseason game. You got a bunch of no-namers playing that nobody wants to watch. Probably going to be a blowout game. Like, they got to find something. I mean, they're asking for pictures. I mean, you're hard up if you got a picture of me, you're going to potentially put on TV with Jack Strand. So,
man,
it was good though. I think they got some background information, understood the story a little bit better, and then obviously I don't know that they needed to talk a lot about that because it's plain.
Oh man,
stuff to talk about at that point. So that was good.
It's been awesome to watch. The last time we had John was right before camp got going. Now camp's done. You're playing a football game Thursday. Tell me how the last month has gone.
Well, I think it's been really good in the fact that our team is really young. I think they did get some maturity. That's what I was concerned about. Would we have some competitive composure as we went through camp? I think we did a good job with that, growing into maturity. I think it's still an untested team. We are going to have to answer the bell because adversity will strike. It does in every game all season. And then can we answer that bell and do a great job getting up off the mat, whatever it is? And so I think we've got a strong leadership group. They're the ones that are going to have to lead through it. Obviously, there's going to be ups and downs with new and young guys of just inconsistency. We've got to get over that. We've talked about the first step in winning football games is not beating yourself. And so, hey, let's make sure that we continue to be one of the least penalized teams in the entire country. Let's make sure we continue to take care of the football, do the things that win football games. And if we can do that, we're going to be in good shape, I really believe.
So the obvious question is, Steve, quarterback, where are you at in a decision of what you're going to do on Thursday night?
Well, I think we got a plan within the walls here of how we're going to start the game and then kind of go from there. And I do think there's some piece of what is Northern Michigan going to do with a new staff. We don't know exactly what we're going to see defensively. And does that open up the door to a different kind of quarterback path? And so we've got kind of a handful of ways things could play out. And so some will be dictated by them. Some will be dictated by us and how we play and what we want to push the tempo wise. But so I think we're in a good spot. We feel really good about the competency of all the quarterbacks. Now they got to go out and do it with the light shining bright.
What have you seen through the quarterback competition throughout the fall camp?
Well, you've good and bad. You've seen a lot of high level plays where you're like, hey, we can win with this guy.
Yeah.
He's making football plays. And then you probably turn around and go, oh boy, we can't win if we make these plays. The inconsistency. And so we just got to be able to raise our floor, play at a consistent level. And if we do that, we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to make Jack Strand type throws. We don't have to make the hero plays. We just need to make everyday plays consistently within the offense. And there's enough talent that we have out there that will be just fine.
Defensively, what stood out for you over the last month? Say, okay, we can make some plays on that side of the ball.
Well, I think there's a lot of guys that they're stepping into things. I think, defensively, you look at what Zach Dahl building on where he was last year. I think he's going to be able to have a great chance making some plays. I think Dean Lemke, is a true freshman that got some good reps. Hopefully he's ready to hit the ground and play. I think Denver Piowski was disruptive through the course of the year last year. Maybe stat line didn't say that, but he disrupted the game enough that they had to put double teams to him and opened up things for other people. And so I think if those guys can get going and create some havoc in the box, defensively, we're going to be in a good spot.
We got to talk here as we look at your season schedule. Your first two games are at home. I don't know if you've ever had that. I'll put that out since you've been head coach, but how big an opportunity is that with the first two here to get some momentum rolling to start 2026?
Well, definitely important how that plays out, especially with the way Labor Day weekend falls. They're two Thursday night games back to back, so not having to travel on those, it's a huge advantage, I feel like. And so we knew we were going to have a young team. That's part of the reason we had a veteran team last year. We said, hey, we would take the road trip with a veteran crew, knowing that we wouldn't have to do it this year. And so there's a little bit of kind of planning of trying to get a young team off to the right start. And so hopefully we can do that. And it's really tough anytime it's a new season with new guys. But to not have to sit around in a hotel all day waiting for a 6 o'clock game is a definite benefit. That we got a little bit of routine. They can get to class for a while. They can be in their own homes. That'll be fine.
And then you have back-to-back trips to Sioux Falls, which is unique in its own right after that.
Well, as a coach who likes structure and routine, it works out perfectly because it's back-to-back weeks. We can take the exact same trip. So same hotel, just a week later, same food, same everything. If we're a little bit short on the food, we can get it adjusted for the next week and be like, hey, we need a little bit more of this, a little less of this. So from that standpoint, I really like the convenience of it. Now, it's 2 difficult games that we're going to have to play on the road. But that's our league. That's the way it rolls.
Now, I also should mention here, as you look at the schedule for the home games this year, all Dragon home games you'll be able to watch on WDAY2 this year for the first time. So that's a big-time deal. You're back on television for the entire season. Describe the excitement level about that.
Well, I think that's huge. You know, we've committed to recruiting locally, regionally for a long time since I've been here, because I do believe the people in the region have enough good players here to represent this region. And so to now be able to be seen and kind of have that brand and that style of play watched as we go through, I think it's just better. And I get that, you know what, not everyone maybe is going to grow up dreaming about being a Dragon, but hey, if they're able to watch the Dragons a little bit more, hey, that becomes a more realistic thing, a more goal-oriented thing for them. And so I think if we can continue to play good football, I think it's a great partnership. Really excited about it.
And the team's coming, Steve, this year. Northern's coming, Duluth, and Mankato. Those are the 3 headliners. To have them on TV here, we're really excited about that. That's going to be awesome.
Correct, and those have been some heck of a games for the last handful of years, and so hopefully it stays like that. You know, it's one game at a time, but you do look, and there are some great opportunities to have some exciting games at home for the fans, home and on TV.
By the way, going back to the Northern Michigan trip last year, I don't think you were also envisioning going behind by 3 touchdowns to come back and win the game. I don't think that was part of the deal either.
Part of the plan was not to get down 21 rip out the gate. We did talk about, in our team meeting and the movie that there was going to be some adversity. We're going to have to come back from adversity. I had planned on substitution errors, maybe killing a couple guys because of false starts. I did not plan on spotting 21 points, a pick 6, a shanked punt, and an MA defensively. Like, oh, yeah. So hopefully we don't do that this year. This is a younger group that'll have a lot harder time overcoming that kind of adversity.
This seems, Captain, obvious question, but I would assume, even though the rosters continually fluctuate in Division II, that NSIC is still loaded for bear from what you know heading into 2026?
Hit me with that one more time.
So I was just assuming the NSIC is loaded again. I know rosters change, but for what you know, the NSIC is still as good as it gets?
Correct, absolutely. Yeah. I do think there's been an interesting piece of top-end guys have been lost into the portal. That Missouri Valley, I think that's going to be a potential trend. We'll have to see how that goes. But, I mean, you look at this Northern Michigan team, I think they got 60 new players this fall. So the portal is being utilized, certainly is. We've got teams that are very good traditionally. They have very good facilities. They're attractive places for people in the portal that maybe aren't making it Division I, that want to give Division II a try. So there's going to be a lot of talented players that are on each of the rosters as we go through the season. And so those are the ones that you gotta prepare for, because they can change the game.
Last thing, you get nervous for Thursday, like before kickoff at like 5:30? What's going to be going through their mind before you start another season?
Well, we're Tuesday at 10:48 here by the looks of it, and I'm nervous already. So that's how it works. I think that's part of it. You put a lot of time and effort into, as a coaching staff, as a program, these players, really to be judged, on 11 days. And so you're hoping that you've done all the preparation and you don't have fluke things that happen, and you go from there. Now I'm excited because these guys are young. They've put in all that work and they've waited their time. Now they get a chance to go prove themselves out there. And so it's kind of exciting, right? It's like seeing your kids go out and perform and do a good job. And so hopefully we see that. I'll have nerves through it until the kickoff starts, but I've always told myself, if I don't get nervous, then I'm probably need to leave it. It's not fair to the people that are playing. They only get 4 years, 5 years now, I guess. It's super important to them. If it's not important enough for me to be nervous, I shouldn't be doing it.
It's great to see you again. We're really excited about the new partnership this year. Good luck on Thursday, and we'll talk again next Tuesday, okay?
That sounds great. Thank you.
There he is. Steve Laqua will join us each and every Tuesday throughout the football season at 10:35. Again, a reminder, all the Dragon home games this year will be available on WDAY2. That's available on Sparklight, over-the-air television. You can catch it where you watch some of our state tournament broadcasts. When we get to the crazy times of November and March, we've put tournament games on there. We've put Minnesota State High School League games on there. You'll be able to find the Dragons coming up Thursday night for the opener against Northern Michigan. Excited about that. We'll take our final break. We come back. We'll put a bow on things, get you ready for a busy Sports Tuesday. We'll do that when Hot Mike wraps up on WDAY Extra right after this.